Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about the Armstrong MA Mk II foils, and we're going to compare how they go to the original MA and the HA V2. Give you a breakdown on why these foils are so nice to ride, especially in the surf, and what are the best sizes of foil for different conditions and rider levels, and tips for choosing the right size and combining with the new Mark II surf tail wings that have just come out as well. Armstrong says ultra forgiving pitch stability, broad speed range, and dream carving machine, and pretty much what they say is what it is. Like, this is such a nice foil to ride. The broad speed range, so we've got a nice low stall speed on these, doesn't drop out easily, and then up to a high speed with this really nice fast foil section that they've developed here, and carving with this 8 aspect ratio, super nice carving, just with that really forgiving pitch stability. You can lock in a carve and just get the pressure right on your feet and carve nicely through a turn, without having to deal with the foil pitching up and down, which can be really annoying if your foil is doing that. I'm just holding the little MA Mk II 490 here. Lovely little foil for towing. And so we're just going to compare with the original MA. What's the difference? Well, original MA didn't have very good bottom end, as has been well talked about, and also not heaps of glide. So there's a much better glide with these. It's really hard to compare the two foils because these MA Mk II are so much better and really only share the same name of MA. Also this MA Mk II handle breaching much more easily, re-engage with the water more easily, and in general just an all-round more user-friendly foil. So comparing to the HA V2, we've got a smaller span on the MA. So obviously that changes things a bit. Slightly less glide with these MA Mk IIs compared to the HA V2, but still a really good glide on the MA Mk II. So useful. These foils are really great for winging, prone, towing, and I'd say even can be used for downwinding as well, if for riders in sort of decent solid conditions. So yeah, all round better foil. If you've already got a HA V2, why would you go to an MA Mk II? Well, better performance in the surf. So the HA will tend to get a bit locked into turns, and it's hard to redirect when it's under power, whereas the MA Mk II can redirect under power, get you to where you want to be on the wave, and just generally kind of handle power better. Still a really nice glide on these. So if you're wing foiling, you can get through your jibes nicely, and a great bottom end. So for like really small conditions, probably some people might want to still use the HA, but if you get the right size MA Mk II, even in small conditions, they go really nicely, carving beautifully, really nice pitch stability, and these don't tend to get as like overpowered through the turn like the HAs can. Sometimes the HAs, partway through a turn, you sort of hit a little bit more power in the wave, even if it's a small wave, and it kind of gives you too much. Whereas these MA Mk IIs are more sort of even in their power and control, and just beautiful foils. So yeah, is it worth it getting these? Absolutely. For me, they've superseded everything else that I've had, and I'm now exclusively just riding these out of the Armstrong range, because they just feel so much nicer to ride, better control, able to handle more power, or even generate great power in small waves as well. Like I tend to ride the smaller of the range because we've got pretty decent powerful waves here in Western Australia. Had a awesome experience a couple of days ago up here on the Ningaloo Reef with the foil boogie. Did a bit of a long distance run to a wave, foiling it on my own, and absolutely magic on the 590, the MA 590, which is the one I got on my setup here. And I usually pair that with the Surf Mark II 130, which is a great tail for handling a bit extra power. So that combo handles a nice power, but still has a really good range as well. So, what size foil are you going to choose? Well, as touched on by Army in his video, for example, if you've got one size in the HA range, like a HA 680, he says, all right, well, if you want the equivalent bottom end, you're going to go up a size. So you're going to go up to like the 790, MA 790. I kind of agree with that, but I think it's somewhere halfway in between. So if you've got a 680, you got a choice to make. You're going to go for a MA 690 as your next foil, or are you going to go for an MA 790? If you want more bottom end, go for the 790. If that's sort of similar or a tiny bit less, you go for the 690. So that's going to apply across the whole range of sizes if you're comparing and coming from a HA foil to the MA foils. So for me, say for example, if I was comparing my 680 to the MA 690, for me it's very similar bottom end. So these MAs have got a great bottom end. So yeah, for me, I can run pretty small foils. Yeah, so depending, if you choose the right size foil, like the MA 790 wing foiling, I'm sort of happily getting good power in waves that are around about waist to maybe chest high. The 690, I'm sort of using that wing foiling in probably sort of around chest high to maybe shoulder or even head high. And then the 590 kind of can pretty much do everything from kind of even waist to chest high, depending on the power of the waves, up to overhead high. That's what I've been using for wing foiling. For toe foiling, I've been using the 490, this little puppy. If it's pretty powered conditions, like waves from around about shoulder high up to about 1.5 times overhead or double head high, if it's kind of not too steep, but they do handle a lot of power. So to compare this little foil for toe foiling to the older original MA 625, they're completely different foils. Like the 625 I struggled with, it was very twitchy. The last thing you want on a big wave is a twitchy foil, and that's been the problem. A lot of the smaller foils in a lot of brands, most brands, as you get smaller they get twitchier, but this MA 490 handles beautifully. It's got really good pitch stability, it's not twitchy, so it's great on bigger waves. And anything from, it doesn't have to be that big, anything from about shoulder high and up. For me, as an 80 kilo rider, I sometimes just grab that 490. If I can't decide, and I'm like, I don't know if the 490 is quite going to be enough power. The 590 is really nice because it's got a good range. Still handles a lot of good power, but it's got a bit, that bit more bottom end and a bit more glide and pump if you need it. And so yeah, I'm always pairing those foils with the 130 tail and a blue shim if I'm towing. And then for wing foiling, I've found some wing foiling, it's either 590, 690 or 790 for me, and I've found that I don't really like a shim at this stage. Maybe it's just me with the Armstrong mid-length board. It feels more balanced for me if I've just got no shim. And I've had to move my track position about 1.5 centimeters further forward compared to the HA foils on the mid-length board. That's running a mid-length 75 litre. So just finding, moving forward helps in the mast track position. And so the tails, the MA Mk II Surf 170, and they've got the 130 on the setup there, are quite different in the amount of power they will give. So that can change the feel of your foil a lot. Like we were out the other day and testing the 590 with had a 170 on it, and it was really quite powered up and sort of feeling like too much power on those waves. Went to the 130 and took a lot of power off the foil and much more controllable. So choosing the right tail is important. So yeah, if you're looking for the absolute surf carving machine and foil to just rip waves on, for prone, wing or towing, this is your foil. You can't go past these ones at the moment. Are they the best mid-aspect foil of 2025? Well, I think they are, but some people might disagree, and they might think there's better ones out there. But if there is, I want to know about it. But no, these are awesome. Get hold of one, start riding one, because it's just going to up your foiling game completely. Hey guys, sorry, just zoned out there for a bit, so I'm just cropped this last bit in. Yeah, thanks for joining. Simon Peters signing off from Ningaloo Reef in northwest Western Australia. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I'd be happy to chat with you. And don't forget to like and subscribe. See you on the next review video.